Oh, look at that. It's so gorgeous. Today we are going to talk about mermaid chromes, Aurora chromes, interference chromes, whatever name you call them. They are the mica chromes that appear like a whitish powder that you can put over things, and if they're on a lighter base, they are not going to cover up whatever is under them. They do very interesting, cool things when they are over silver cat eyes. And so I've picked out a range of colors and we're just going to test them out. I'm doing the video because I was chatting with someone. We were nerding out about it and I love this kind of stuff. So let's start using some chrome powders. I have prepped 5 nails with 5 different fine particled silver mag gels. I just wanted to see if there was a slight difference in the clear bases they are in. And there is a little bit. First one, Gao, Silvery Moonlight. Number 2, Born Pretty, Flowing White Light. Number 3, Cocoist, White Satin. Number 4, My and B, Hanchen Mag, HC01G. And finally, Gel and Gel Special Mag, the finest particled one from a 3 polish set, where it's just particle size. I will say, the marketing pictures that Gel and Gel provided are a little misleading because they have them on slate rock and it makes it look like the gel colors are actually a cool slate blue, which is why I actually bought them. Turns out they're all silver mags. Anyway. Okay, for the chromes, I tried to pick out a range of colors that all flashed interesting colors back. That's Galactic Dream from Amazon. That is Nail Mart USA's Mystic Pearl, their own brand. Next is Bonnie B's Pink Grapefruit. That's Sweetie Nail Supply. And another Bonnie B, Aloha Blue. And this is actually pretty unusual chrome, I will say. A lot of times, multiple brands have the same one. And Nail Mart USA's Fairy Floss. Okay, first up, our purple. It's a deep purple, blue, violet chrome. This was the one from Amazon, the Galactic Dreams. And you will see as it goes on there, we now have that reflecting back yellow. So all of the Aurora chromes will change the silver base to their some sort of range of their complementary colors. So a rich blue violet will turn that reflective light coming from the silver mag to a yellow. Next up, our rich red orange toned chrome. That's the Mystic Pearl. Intense orange chromes are always going to reflect back a turquoise-ish toned light coming from that silver mag gel underneath. You can get slightly different ranges depending on the color, if it's a softer orange or more of a red, but generally you're going to get that kind of glowing reflection in it. And here's the 2 we have so far. We've got yellow reflecting back and a cool tealy turquoise. Next is the Bonnie B Grapefruit. This is more of a magenta-y toned purple plum color. And the Bonnie B chromes are extremely finely milled chromes. And a lot of times I've noticed they don't look like they're doing as much when you're putting them on, but once you put the top coat on, all of a sudden they just bing and they come to life. That's just sort of a little observation from using them. Also, another side note, I've noticed the camera on my phone has been freaking out and won't change focus anymore smoothly, I think since an update, so I'm about ready to throw it against the wall. Half the time I spent doing this video, it was trying to get these things to focus close up. Anyway, there we go. Okay, now we can see, since this is a more red-toned chrome, we are getting a nice limey light green reflection coming back from that silver cat eye. Okay, now for the Bonnie B Aloha Blue. This is a more unusual chrome, I will say, that I at least personally have come across. It's hard to find a good teal, bright blue like that. They exist, it's just not as common as some of the other ones you see that are just a repeats from brand to brand. But anyway, so this is more, I guess, cyan. But on this reflection, the difference between that more ultramarine blue, the first one we did, that, is almost in a purple blue arena. This is a much more cyan, teal blue, and we are now getting a peachy, yellowy orange reflection coming back. It's a much richer, peachy kind of color instead of just yellow. Okay, up next is Nail Mart USA's the Fairy Floss. Now this is more of a blue-green, a rich green, and this is going to get us into a peachy pink arena. But this was sort of an in-betweeny one, and so I'm going to do one more that is a very yellow-green so that we can see. So I ended up adding one because I really wanted to show the pink side of the reflective nature of these, but you can see we're getting that pink and more yellowy peach around the outside. And so this is what we have so far with our 5 colors. You can see the colors being reflected back from the silver. Okay, and the bonus chrome that I'm adding is my absolute favorite chrome. It's another unusual chrome. It is Nail Mart USA's Aurora Beam. And it's a really neat combo of a yellow-green. A lot of these in this range really switch to the gold end, which I don't care for as much. I like that lime greenness that this has to it. And here's when my phone just really starts freaking out. I did this about 4 times. So, you know, we'll get a little bit of the gist of this. I restarted my phone this morning, so I'm going to try to record again and see if it fixed it at all. And there we go. Look at that nice pink color. And this is cool because if you use this with a pink cat eye underneath, the pink cat eye gets even more intense. And I use that to my advantage in my tutorial, the pink and lime green Aurora nail. So, you know, it will just make the impact of the color, if you use a color that is the same that's being reflected back, not the chrome color, it will intensify the effect underneath. And this is before I've top coated them. So that's just the chrome raw on there. Oh, and back to the silver cat eyes that I used. I forgot to mention, I said there was a slight difference in the bases. I wanted to see if it made a difference. I'll pop that back in for a second so we can look at it. The only thing I really noticed is the Gao had the most yellow cast to the clear base it's in. The Born Pretty had a little bit of it, but less than the Gao. And I think the clearest one was the Gel and Gel, the last one. But again, there's so many factors at play. I do know that the silver reflects 2 different tones, the particles. You can get a warmer tone plus a blue tone when you get that double bar going on them with the magnet. I'm talking about the cast of the clear gel they're in. And it might be splitting hairs, but there was a slight tone change between the first one and the last one. Okay, these are now top coated and finished, and so it's really cool. We can really see the reflections of the lights I have on. That's the chrome color, and then the majority of the nail is showing us that reflective complementary color coming up from the silver mag base we have going on. And I'm going to pop in a slightly better color wheel I found here that shows us more than just the simple colors, and you can see that basically everything we've just observed is also happening on this color wheel. If you look at the red purple at the top and you go directly to its opposite, we get to the yellow green on the bottom of the wheel. And we could continue on every color we just did, and we will be able to find that opposite range that is flashing back at us because of that reflective silver cat eye. And that is on science, and that is cool. Now, how do interference chromes actually work? Well, that's a whole other science question. And it's confusing. It has something to do with how it manipulates light waves. It's basically a lot of layers. The pigments, the Aurora pigments appear white because they use titanium dioxide with it. That's why they appear white and not like regular chromes that look like the color it's going to be. And this layering effect, it works with the layering, it works with light refraction, and then there's path differences in how, because light is a wave, so as it's approaching these layers and penetrating through the surface, certain wavelengths are hitting and stopping, some can go further. So it all has something to do with that. I can't explain it any better because I'm not a scientist. And unless I'm seeing some really great specific diagrams explaining how the waves are bouncing and hitting off things and what each of them means, it starts to become very confusing when you are reading about it. But anyway, here's some just nice, lovely more pictures of the chromes and the colors they reflect back that all prove out on a color wheel. And if you've stayed this long, I think that means you're an intergalactic nail nerd. Okay, Thank you for coming to my TED Talk about interference aurora chromes.